Hello and welcome along to episode 4 of our FM20 Network Career. It's myself v Craig, as it has been for the past 3 weeks. Craig in charge of Chesterfield, myself in charge of Barnet. Both similar teams at the top end of the National League, and as you can see, it's starting to get quite close. So we're back for a mid-season review today, but if you have missed any of the series so far, please do catch up in the eye above. Thank you for your support with it so far. It has been much appreciated. If you're looking forward to this one, please put a thumbs up on the video and check in the eye above for links to all the other content as well. We'll be back later today with a stadium review series, but we are focusing today on Chesterfield and Barnet. I would say both managers probably pretty happy at this point, and we're going to reflect on that. So, Craig, I will start with you and Chesterfield. How do you feel things are as we're just past the halfway point?
Oh no, absolutely delighted. From I think after the FA Cup game on the previous week, where it was very disappointing. We haven't actually pushed on, to be honest. So just looking at my schedule right now, and since that we lost to Aldershot, who are also second in the league at the moment. Got back to winning a few games. Then after Harrogate, we went on a bad run. We lost to Stalybridge Celtic in the trophy, which
seemed to harm you.
Well, we battered them that whole game. The keeper played a fantastic game, and I'm not fussed of going out the trophy, to be honest. Obviously, the league is always the priority when you're top of the table. But yeah, we just couldn't see the buy win after that in December. We just kept drawing Eastleigh, Stockport and Hartlepool. But finally, in new month, it all changes again. We got picked up 2 wins in there. But 60 points so far, I'm absolutely delighted about. I only lost twice now, I think, in the league. But no, 60 points, I'm very happy with that. Obviously, it's getting tighter below. Well, it looks like it's going to probably be a 4-horse race at the moment. So I'm very happy.
I couldn't disagree with you. I guess the one thing that you did mention to me briefly off camera before this, if I head back to your squad screen, is that you were starting to pick up a couple of knocks to key players as well this time.
Yes, so Idris Khalid's out for a few weeks with a broken rib. Oh, no, not a broken rib. He's out with a twisted ankle. Fondop broke his ribs, so he's out to 8 to 10 weeks.
Lovely.
Joe Rowley's out for a week or 2, knee ligaments. Jai Reason scored the winner against you early in the season. He's out for 2 to 5 weeks with a groin strain. So, a few injuries. It's hard at the moment because I think we are hitting a bit of financial problems. So we are looking to sell a couple of players that have not been in the squad recently, mainly Tom Denton, Curtis Weston, try and get them off the wages. Transfer-wise, we are looking at on trial Devontae Aaron Sibia. Don't know much about him. Played an attacking right mid, young lad. Used to play for Fylde. Well, he didn't really play for Fylde, so his appearance says 0. So we could give him a shot. And we just need some young blood, but just trying to get cover in the positions that we need that are vital for us.
I mean, I guess the one thing I would say is prior to this, you'd had a few problems with takeovers and that, which seem to have been resolved now. And in that sense, not happening.
Yeah, it took forever. Absolutely.
About a month and a half, 2 months, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was hard because I needed a new striker anyway because Khalid was out injured and the others weren't really scoring.
No.
But I did get one striker in.
You did? A former Luton man?
A former beloved Luton Town player in Ricky Miller. So knows this league very well. He obviously got his goals with Dover. He scored 40 in one season for them. Great striker. A bit about 30 years old, but he's given me a good return. 7 appearances, 3 goals so far. So I'm quite happy with that. Needs to up his fitness a little bit, but that's what kind of expected from Ricky Miller.
Otherwise, I mean, you're looking pretty good, and I guess there's only so much you can complain when you're top of the league. I mean, the one thing you did mention is a couple of players you've got on a transfer list, and Curtis Weston's one I've got to look at because I'm losing my captain from centre midfield because he's been a bit of an arse off the pitch. But Curtis Weston is a Barnet legend, as viewers can see on the screen now. 213 league appearances for them, scoring goals on the break from centre midfield. I mean, he's someone I've got to look at, but to be honest, I've kind of got my eye on Liam Mandeville. He's the man I want to buy, and I have got enough money, so you might be getting a tough couple of weeks, Craig. But
I'm going to tell you right now, he's not for sale. So
well, I'm going to test you.
Don't bother putting a bid in.
I will try my best if I need to. But as Craig says, Chesterfield top of the league. And to be honest, when your difficult run in the league season is 3 draws in a row, you know things are going pretty well, if we're being brutally honest.
Yeah, it's. I think, as we said before in previous videos, that this league is a very hard league. There's so many games come thick and fast. And to be honest, I think we're holding ourselves capable to actually win this league out of Canada. But the problem is Aldershot, who've been absolutely sensational, come out of nowhere and just keep beating teams. And
yeah.
I said to you off camera, so I need them to lose at some point, and they lost to AFC 5 the next game.
It didn't really help that we both lost to them as well, did it? Which wasn't ideal.
No, but Aldershot got a very good squad. But look, they seem to be doing well at the moment, goals-wise. Obviously, top goal scorer is Mohamed Betama on 9.
Well, I think the difference there, they've got 5 or 6 sharing them out, haven't they?
Yeah, there's like 8, 7, 4. So the goals, same with Chesterfield, the goals are coming from everyone else rather than obviously like Colhurst for Barnet. He's your main man scoring the goals, and that's I think that's the difference between both sides. Also, I'm not saying you're a one-man team, but when you've got other players scoring as well, it does make a difference to you.
Well, it's actually a perfect link, which you make quite well. And I mean, if we look at the actual stats for the league, as Craig mentions, Coulthurst is 5 clear top scorer in the league. He's going to win the Golden Boot quite easily. Yeah. Scott Loach, by the looks of it, despite the odd error, is going to win the Golden Glove quite easily. He's 2 clear of Walker of Aldershot, and you can see Craig's keeper's not even on there. That's how few they've kept because they've been focusing on the other end. And behind Mandeville for assists, Larnell Cole's not far behind him. So in terms of individuals and moments of quality, we've got it all. But as Craig says, with Barnet, the big problem is, if I take you through the info, we haven't got enough players scoring goals. So aside from Coulthurst, McCullum, the other centre forward, who has to be in the team because of that ridiculous long throw, has got 6. And Dan Sweeney, the centre half, has got 6, mainly off those long throws. But other than that, no one's got more than 4. And aside from McCullum with his long throws, which, by the way, is overpowered, and Larnell Cole, we haven't got anyone with more than 3 assists. So there isn't really that sharing out. I have changed tactics since the last episode, which I hope will help. And in terms of scoring goals, the last 5 games, it does seem to have made a really big impact. So in terms of that, I've just put the wingers further up the pitch to more attacking positions. I mean, I'm almost playing with 4 up front, essentially, which seems to have worked quite well. I mean, the one difference between myself and Craig is probably that we had a bit of an FA Cup run. After the Chesterfield game, which you saw on camera last, we then held Plymouth and got a replay at Home Park, where unfortunately we didn't benefit ticket-wise because, as Craig mentioned when we were watching it live, 3 of the stands were closed and the attendance was only 5,000 for it, which didn't help.
That's one big stand.
And obviously they nicked it in the 93rd minute. We almost went to extra time there. And then, like Craig, we fell apart in the first round of the FA Trophy with a largely rotated side. But since then, 6 unbeaten, 4 wins and lots of goals. I'm starting to feel like I could creep into the title race. I'm not going to show you them today like Craig, but I have got a couple of potential big transfers coming in, both on loan and only 10% of the wages being paid. And if we get them and they start on fire, I've got a real suspicion that we could cause some shockwaves here. And I mean, it does lead pretty well for the rest of this series, Craig, because we've got a couple of very tough months coming up. We both play Aldershot before the next episode, which, as you mentioned a minute ago, are going to be really key games. And then we are back at the start of April to face each other. So I guess my question for you is, where do you hope you're going to be there, and how many new signings do you think you'll have by that point, or would like to have?
I think where we'll be, I think we'll still be up there. I think if you join the party, close the gap to us, we're 7 points at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, Aldershot have got a game in hand, so they could go joint top in theory.
Yeah, but I think we'll be up there. I think it'll be a very close call to the end of the season. Will I sign any more players? I think it depends on Tony Adams getting rid of a couple of players that I might say let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
And if we can boost the squad in the strength and positions that we need, then why not? But it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. I don't think we'll get any more players in my honest opinion. And
I'll ask as a side note, just for the viewers, if there was one position you'd be looking to strengthen, where would you be aiming for?
Probably attacking mid.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Joe Rowley's your only man, and he's picked up a knock, which has coincided with you scoring less goals. So that makes perfect sense, to be honest. I guess I am going to force you to commit a little bit more for the viewers so we can all take the mick out of you after. When we come back on the 4th of April, which position in the table do you think you will be?
Oh, second, I'll say.
Second?
First or second.
And then my follow-up question to that is, who do you think will be the team above you, if there is one?
Yeah, it's going to be Aldershot.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no. I think it'll take a monumental collapse from Aldershot. I think they just don't know how to lose at the moment, and it's weird. I know I said they lost to Fylde, but
aside from that, their form's been absolutely insane. I mean, I'll show the viewers. They lost that one game against Fylde, as Craig mentions, the 28th of December. I mean, aside from that, they haven't lost since the first day. They lost on the first day and against Fylde, and they're unbeaten aside from that. They're still in the FA Cup. They beat QPR in the third round. They've beaten Cambridge out of League Two as well. And they've got a fourth round tie away at Southampton, which is obviously quite a big game for them down there. I mean, that's ridiculous. And they're still in the FA Trophy as well. So we've got to hope that those games hinder them.
Well, yeah, this is it. And I'll tell you what, they've got. That's the point. If they can beat QPR 2-0.
I didn't notice the FA Cup run before. Wow.
I knew they won't play. They beat QPR at home. So anything. This is my worry. This is my worry with Aldershot. If they carry on as they've been going, yeah, I can see them rump away the title. But as you said, they're going to play too many games and they'll probably pick up injuries, and depends on their squad if they can handle it. I think by the time it gets to when you play them on the 22nd of February, it might be a bit too much for them.
I mean, that spell's really tough for them as well. We mentioned that we're both playing them in quick succession, but between that, they've got Notts County as well. So it's Barnet, Notts County, Chesterfield for Aldershot. I just can't help but feel that week is going to probably decide which teams are in the title race to the final month.
Well, yeah, this is exactly. But the thing is, like, Notts County between, they're mid-table. They're very surprising, mid-table.
Still picking up results, though. They got a point against me.
Well, I've got 3 of their players. I couldn't play. But I think we picked up something against them anyway. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be really tight. I say, I think by the time we play each other on the 4th of April, I think it would be 2nd v 3rd or first v 3rd. I think at the moment the gap is a bit too much for you at the moment. But as I said, it only takes a couple of results and it swings again. So.
I mean, I guess that answered my final question, which is where did you think I will be? I'm glad you think I'll still be in the top 3 because obviously Stockport, Hartlepool, both big sides not far behind me. I mean, in terms of my expectations, I'll be fair and answer the same questions I've asked Craig. I'm not just going to be horrible to him because he's a guest. I honestly believe, based on recent form, or until I saw that page, that Aldershot would be top. But seeing their FA Cup run, I'm kind of hoping as much as Craig that the next 2 games, their players focus on Southampton and get beat. They've got some tough ones coming up in February, as we saw. So if we can both get results against them, it could be Chesterfield v Barnet for the title race. But I'm going to be bold, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction and say that by the time we come back for our game at the start of April, there will be 5 points or less between all 3 teams. Is my opinion.
I think it'll go down to at least the second last game of the season. I don't think it'll go down that far.
Well, I mean, over on our other network, Save, today on the Honest Football Podcast channel, which myself and Craig are both co-hosts on, we've got a pretty crucial final game of the season. And it could well be that next Sunday or the one after, we could have one on this channel because it seems like it's heading the same way at the top. I mean, the hope is, from my point of view, that we both get promoted, one as champions, one via the playoffs, and then next season we get to fight it out in League Two. That would be the ideal. I don't know that that's going to happen because I think my side's a little inconsistent.
Well, I think with you, yeah, I think there's a bit of inconsistency with you, but I think it's I think it's just mistakes. I don't know what you're going to do with a goalkeeper. Scott Loach has been a brilliant player over the years, but as you've been said, it's some mistakes lately. Not the games I've watched. There's been some really weird mistakes as well. But it depends. I don't know who you're going to sign. I don't know. It depends who you bring in, and obviously Barnet's a bigger club than Chesterfield, but
they're both probably in our lifetimes historically League Two clubs, aren't they?
Mm. Oh god, yeah. We'll just have to see what happens. It takes takes 1 or 2 injuries, and then it all goes wrong.
I mean, I guess you've made the best point, Craig, which is it's lovely to not know going into this stage of the season. It's probably our most professional save of the 2. The Honest Football Podcast one has sort of descended into chaos and probably, I guess, tomfoolery would be the best word without swearing on my channel. But moving towards the end of the season, we've got a couple of big months to play off camera, and then we'll be back for that big one on the 4th of April. So I do hope you'll come and join us for it next week at the same time, 12 o'clock on Sunday. It's going to be crucial, and it's going to be a very tense game, I would imagine. I think we'll probably both be reacting a bit differently. Craig visiting us for the first time after 2 away games earlier in the year. And I'm hoping that these signings will be pulled off because I will have a couple of cracking names to take us through to the end. So if you do want to see that, please subscribe and turn the notification bell on down below to get alerts as all the daily FM20 content releases. And remember to check back later today for my stadium review series. Please put a thumbs up on the video. It is much appreciated, and let us know down in the comments who you think is going to come out on top over the next couple of months. Where do you think we'll both be come next week when we face each other at the start of April? The title race is going to go down to the wire. I hope you'll come and join us because you don't want to miss this one. Thank you very much, as always, for Craig for joining me. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully we'll both see you next time.